Looking at the Nitrous dashboard here, I can go into the IDE of my Node.js container and start to look at some of the code that we've got in there. And we'll drill into this in class, but here's a little bit of support on the back end, and we've seen this a little bit before, where I've got a couple things here. Express is helping me to support a get if I wanted to, and I'll send a whole HTML file over if I just get from the root directory. If there's a get with a specification for Binder here, what I'm going to be able to do is send back actually all of the information in the database, which we'll take a look at. And then there's also a post to allow the user to send information over to the server and for us to record it in the database. So if I come down here and say, well, I want to be able to run this, I have to say node, and then I have to say the name of the file, and that is fullstackbinder.js, and I can hit enter. Seems a little anticlimactic on the server side because it just sits and it's waiting at that port number for requests. But if I come up here and I say, okay, I want to preview what it looks like if I were to take a browser and connect to that port, this is what it looks like. It's not all that pretty, but map of Victoria, we've loaded in the bike routes, and I can say, well, I want to get the reports that are out there so far. And oh, boring, there's only one, but if I click on it, I can see, oh, lights were out, and it was reported by Pat. So that's pretty cool. That came from the database to my browser here. And if I say, well, I want to make a new report, and again, this is a bit of a crazy interface, but we'll say it's from Haley Purple, and we'll say it's lights out, and we'll just modify this ever so slightly to say, well, this is coming in at a different location. This is the latitude and longitude. Again, we need a better way to do this because this is just not going to work on your bike. Well, we can say submit that, and we show the map again, and I'm doing this just to show we're coming back to the main page. But this time if I say get reports, oh, I did it very close. That was a little bit too close maybe. But there's lights out reported by Haley Purple, and then behind that, if I can get to it, might be a little bit too close. Oh, there's lights out reported by Pat. Oh, I thought I had a pothole there reported by Pat. Let me add that one in. I'm going to make it slightly different here. I'll make this a 5, and I'll make this a 1. And we'll say that we're going to submit that our pothole by Pat and get those reports. Oh my goodness, the pothole's way up here, I think. There we go. Yes, there's the pothole reported by Pat. If we come over here to our Node.js server, we can actually open up a window to take a look at the Mongo database, and I can say I want to use the database called Binder Reports is what we've called it here. And I can say, well, I want to take a look at what's in there. So Binder Reports, find, and this does a list of all the things in the database. And you can see we've got the pothole reported by Pat at the longitude and latitude, and we actually stamp it with a date to say when, in case we need that for some time. So we've got Mongo running here. I just went to the command line in that window. We fired this up in Node.js, running this backend for a server, serving up the web page. This is the one that we pass over with the get. We say we go to this one called bike maps. This is the bike maps right here, and that's the form that's on the bottom of the page, and this is all the HTML to do the mapping. So we're starting to get that full stack working. That's our first example of the absolute full stack, with the front end being the HTML file that's sent off, and that's this one here. It includes the references to Google Maps. The back end running MongoDB in Node using some Express, and being able to send things to that database and retrieve things from that database, with the with the caveat that the URL and the interface needs a lot of work. Okay, we did it. We got there. It's full stack.